Hey, good morning, guys. How's everybody doing this morning? All right, great. Always a good morning when you don't have a headache. It's hard to think clear. I know, I used to wake up with them all the time. That was before I had my diabetes diagnosed. It was what was causing my headaches every night and every morning, causing me to wake up with headaches, was, my sugar was out of whack. So all those years I went through and didn't even know it. But thankfully, I'm on the right track now. All right, so let's take a look at some stocks here. I don't have anything up here that excuse me, on this scan that I like at all. Nothing up here and that I really like. RCII is okay. It's not my favorite, but it's one that I would take a look at. Now this one, Rent-A-Center, what happened yesterday, they announced, I guess they rejected whatever buyout deal they had. Trying to get the daily chart up here. As you can see, when the deal was announced, you can see where we gapped up, and we kind of stayed yesterday. When they announced it, it gapped down, but you can see we recovered, and we got, back into some of this gap here. So we'll see. We'll see how this thing turns out. I will put it on watch. It does have some potential here. Does have some potential. I mean, potentially it could start running this morning and give us a 52-week high break. So this stock has been interesting. It's been really volatile the last couple of days. Well, the last day. And today with this gap up, makes this pretty interesting. Makes it pretty interesting. So we'll keep an eye on this. Keep it on our watch list. But nothing else on here. UNG is an ETF. For natural gas. Gold is it's a gold stock. So I don't typically trade that. That's pretty volatile. So that sector. So I tend to stay away from both of those sectors. And, TRLY, that's the Canadian weed stock, which has been unreal. This one, it has on here a 10 million share float. You look on FinViz, I think it's a 50 million share float. But I stay away from it. You look at the ATR, 859. That tells you how volatile that stock is. So we look over here, GIS. This one has a slightly higher float. It's just over 5 million, but it's on earnings. Excuse me. And it has some pretty good potential today. This one, this did the same thing, and we're going to look at JBL here in a minute. But if you were paying attention yesterday afternoon when I was talking about, JBL was the only one I would be watching for earnings. And, what it looked like, they sold it off so that these guys can buy it at a cheaper price. And when it popped, they could sell into these guys that were, starting to buy it on positive earnings. That's how big money thinks. That's how they work. So that's the secret to my earning strategy is basically, going through and figuring out what's big money going to do. Because that's the side that we need to be on. Because every time you take a trade, if you make money, it's coming out of somebody else's account. If you lose money, your money's going into somebody else's account that was on the opposite side of the trade of you. So I want to be on the side that big money is on. Because while they're taking money, I want to be taking my little piece too. And, GIS, this is the same thing. They sold it off. And here they popped in the earnings. And these guys were selling into the people buying on the positive earnings news. So that one popped as well. But now, what we do is we just wait for the open and see if we're going to have some volume come in, see if it's going to be volatile enough and have room enough so that we can make some money on it. I mean, that's our number one priority here. So let's mark out our daily levels here. Okay, we've got 40, 55, the 20. It'll be our 20-day moving average here. So we've got some good possibilities here. Good windows of opportunity. So GIS can make the cut. But nothing else up here has any volume. See, WGO doesn't have volume. RAD, no volume yet. Okay, JBL, this one, and just to show you what I was talking about yesterday, how that matched up. It looks just like GIS did, right? Big sell-off. It was just selling off, making 52-week lows into earnings. They were going to bounce it. And they bounced it, and they sold it into these guys that were buying on positive earnings. Ran right up into these moving averages yesterday. But it doesn't have any volume today, so I can't put it on watch. There's no volume. But that's the pattern. These are the things that I look for. I didn't get back in time yesterday. And that's one of the frustrating parts about this. I need to, if I don't get back in time to really get set up, I can't trade these earnings. You know, because nothing is 100% accurate or right. You know, there's going to be a small percentage of these that actually trade against what the chart's telling me. What everything's telling me, it actually trades against it. Same thing with everything else in the market. But with these, you see how these move. So they can make a big move, and I have to be there to be able to manage it. So if I'm not here to take advantage of it, then I'm not going to really trade it. But I do share what my thoughts are. And if you saw exactly what I saw yesterday and you got in when you should have, it's been a very profitable trade. All right, so let's look at the downward earnings. Okay, so we've got two here. Both of these have a higher float, but they make pretty good moves, and they could be in play today. So let's take a look at MU first. And remember, I'm only going to look at stocks that's on my scan. Those are the only ones I'm going to put on watch. If it doesn't show up on any of my scans, it's not tradable for me that day. Okay, so MU, here we are making a 52-week low. Nice big sell-off. So anything that's making a 52-week low is gold in my book. The only issue with this is going to be, it's probably going to have SSR. Let me see. I hadn't sold off enough to trigger SSR yet. But it'll trigger SSR. Yep. So when it opens, I expect SSR to trigger. And that's going to make it a little tricky. You know, oftentimes that is what will stuff a good move like this. But it's set up, and it's good enough to make my watch list. I love 52-week lows. Those are my favorite, because these things can go and they can continue to go. Remember XPO, 52-week low, just kept on going. Just kept on trucking. You know, and that's why I like them. Those are, you know, oftentimes when you catch them, they work out great. Okay, FDX is the other one on our downward earnings scan. See this one too, 52-week low. I don't know why I can't get this to line up on the right. There we go. 181.28, 52-week low. It was up here. We gapped down below it. This one's probably going to hit. Be on SSR too. We are pretty oversold. So I'm not sure how much selling this is going to be able to do today. But it's got potential, especially if we get a decent bounce. Then we've got enough room to make some money. So we'll be watching FDX too. But remember, just because they're on watch doesn't mean we're just going to trade them. You know, they have to set up when the market opens, and they have to give us the signs that we need, the trigger, so that it can trigger our entry. Until then, I'm not going to mess with it. All right, so let's analyze some market data here. Let me pull up my chart. All right, so you can see where we are. You know, last week I was worrying about, you know, this weekend I was talking about this 260 level. Well, I'll just put it there. I was talking about this 260 level and how here we came down and it abruptly got bought up. It did not like it down here. Here it did the same thing. We dipped a little lower, but it immediately got bought back up. It did not like this level. So I knew once this level cracked, we had a really good shot at bringing this home. Now we've got our 52-week low, which was made back in, here it is, which was made back in February. Now this is the first significant price action we've had in a while. And this is actually, you know, significant. We were actually trading down here. This wasn't a dip and then an immediate rejection. We've actually been trading and hanging around down here. Now, yeah, we have, you know, we are trading just above yesterday's close. We can't open green on the day, but that doesn't mean it can't sell off. Yesterday we opened green on the day, pushed up a little bit, and then sold off throughout the day. We may get the same thing. I want to see a real good test of this 52-week low, and I think if we crack it, it's going to fall off a cliff. But you can see around this area, there's some solid support here that's come in every day. So I'm going to be keeping my eye on this today because I definitely want to see this market roll over a little bit more. I want to get into a serious correction. If it, you know, starts a bear market here, then hey, that's great. I can't say we started one because we just got down and we've kind of hung around. But right now, you know, we just have to wait and see. Alright, you seen my class where I draw price lines showing windows of support and resistance. Yep, that's pretty much, well, yeah, I do it. That's what you'll see me do every morning. on stocks that we're vetting. But let me go. Yeah, 250 to 90 something. I can't remember what the exact price is. But it's just below 253 is a 52-week low. Yeah, 252.92. Exactly. So yeah, we got some time here. So let's look at gold. I'm sure I haven't even drawn a line on gold because I don't trade it. So let's say I'm looking to trade gold today. And I'm over here on the 5-minute chart. We've gapped down and we're trading around $84. So what I'm going to do is look for and mark like $3 or $4 up and $3 or $4 below where we're trading right now. So I'm going to look for levels. You know, I don't need to mark the whole chart up if there are levels that aren't in play today. So I'm just going to start marking where the stock changed direction. And these are what I call pivots, where a stock went up and it pivoted and came back down, and where it bounces and pivots back up, I'm going to mark these, which you can say that the high of the peaks and the lows of the valleys. And that's what I'm doing. Sometimes I blow the chart up to make it, you know, so I could see exactly what I'm doing. But here's the top of the peak. Here's a little bounce here. Anywhere you see a stock took a bounce, it ran into some support. See right here where we went up. Then we pull back a little bit. Here's a bounce here. So, you know, we've marked all of these levels. Now, I know it looks like they're real close together, but it's a daily chart. So if it looks real close together, like these two, it could be a point in between. These could be 2 points in between. So it may look crowded on your daily chart, but when it's transferred to your 5-minute, that's when you can see these windows of opportunity open up between these levels. You see, so right now we're trading under 84.73, which is here. Our next level is 83.28, which is about 1.5 points away. So we've got that pretty good window. So the other thing I do is I'm going to mark if there's any daily levels that are around there. So I'm going to mark these. Okay, daily level 83.75. That's the 20. So I'll, you know, put a level here. Uh, 84.20. Then I'm going to make it blue because that's what color my 20 EMAs are, or SMAs. Put a solid line so that I know this is, oh, that's the wrong price. Hold on. 83.75. $83.75. Sorry, I had the wrong price. Now this price is going to change throughout the day, but I mark where it starts. It's typically not going to move but a few cents one way or the other. So, and then 81.21, and that's all I do to let me know where the potential levels of support or resistance is. This is a 52-week chart. So I go back 52 weeks. No, you're not looking for bearish pivots. You're looking for any area of support and resistance. Because you don't know what it's, just because it gap down doesn't mean it's going to keep going down. A lot of stocks gap down and then they pop up and they turn into longs. So you have to mark levels above where we're trading and below where we're trading. You got to be prepared either way. Alexander, triggers, it's going to depend on the setup. Like, for instance, my opening range or 5-minute opening range strategy, the trigger is going to be once a stock puts in a 5-minute opening range, if it moves below it, it triggers me to go short. If it moves above it, it triggers me to go up. John, it's 52-week calendar. It's a 52 week. So I go back 52 weeks. Like, here could have some area, and then I can go back and, you know, here's all the way back in April, March. You can see the lines are still lined up. You know, this, you know, history is pretty solid. And you can see where this pivot lines up. And I drew these, you know, based on these last couple of weeks. But I use a 52-week chart and I go all the way back. No, Michael, you don't want to have any bias. I mean, yeah, you want to have, like when I look at my stock, when I look at my trades, potentials, like if it's a 52-week low, obviously I want it to go short. So my personal desire is going to be for it to go short. But I can't sit there and say if it doesn't do what I want it, you know, go in the direction I want it to go, I'm not going to trade it if it presents an opportunity to the long side. If you do that, that's going to limit, you know, your profit potential. Limit your potential to take winning trades. So I'm always going to look long and short. Now, there are a lot of stocks that there's just no trade to the long side because it's got a whole bunch of resistance above it. And there's no way I'm going to buy into that resistance. So in that respect, no, there's nothing there. All right, Dwayne, I'm using, yeah. Thanks for answering that. Michael, yeah, I use Thinkorswim. I use Thinkorswim for my charting. Now, when you see my trading platform up, you know that's DOS, and I mark those DOS charts, but I'm typically not watching those charts. I'm watching the Thinkorswim charts because they have the deviation bands from the VWAP. And this tells me whenever a stock starts to get some momentum or some momentum to one side or the other. So if we're getting some buying pressure, then that deviation band is going to open up and start trending up. If we get selling pressure, it's going to open up to the downside. If it's neutral, then we're just going to see it flatlining. And when I see it flatlining, I tend to not get in those trades. No, that's to accommodate for the potential move. I mean, you could look at it as average true range, but you don't want to limit the range just to the average true range, because if a stock has a catalyst, it's going to move outside of its average true range. So if the average range is $1.50 and you've got an earnings catalyst, it's probably going to move $3 to $4, maybe $5. So you want to make sure you compensate for how far that stock can move. So that's why, as general rule, I'll go, $3, anywhere from $3 to $5 where we're trading. Just depends on the stock. Well, support and resistance is a legit thing. I mean, you see it every day. Market makers do plan off of historical points of support and resistance. They use it to try and figure out, well, what's the average retail trader going to do? Or what's the trader going to do? If it loses this, is a bunch of selling going to take place? Like we're looking for the SPY to lose its 52-week low, or the market to lose its 52-week low today. If it does, we're expecting a bunch of selling to come in. But you can see over the last couple of days, the market has put in a level of support for the market. For the SPY, it's just, it can't crack that level that it's sitting at. So that is support. But support and resistance, they're designed to be attacked. So they're either going to held or they're going to But it's not, I don't think you truly understand how stocks move or what makes them move. Because you figure that out, you know where support and resistance is. And it's not just one or two market makers. There's a whole group of traders that use these levels to base their positions off of. In the same way market makers look to attack those levels, we look to attack those levels too. And they're not meant to be permanent. They're meant to float. So you're gonna have levels that hold up for long periods of time, and once they get attacked, they're going to get broken down. John, I'm only looking for the lowest candle. Like when we go up, like here, this is the highest candle or the highest price it had before it turned around and came down. So I'm going to mark that level. Right here is where the sellers overtook the buyers. People who are willing to bid this price up, they got exhausted and now you've got some selling taking place. The sellers are in control. No, and that's all we're looking for. You know, these guys that manage these big funds, and let me post my watch list here. There it is, guys. These big funds, they a lot of times they have the money to move the market. They can bid the market up until they get to where they want it to go, and they'll leave it alone. Or they'll sell it to where they want it to go, and they'll leave it alone. You know, once you figure out and understand how stocks move, and we're going to look at it and explain it in different ways. You know, I'm not saying there's one right answer and one wrong answer. That's the beautiful thing about this trading. To me, it's like an art form. And we all, just like we all view and see art in a different way, we see the market, we view the market like that. Well, that's what I'm saying. You can pretty much figure out what's going to happen ahead of time if you understand what's going on in the market. If you understand what moves the market and what makes stocks go up and down, it's not supply and demand so much as we think. You know, it goes beyond that. You know, that's why it's not luck that I can, you know, tell you exactly what's going to happen with these stocks when earnings are announced. You know, it's not a 50-50 guess. You know, about 80% of the time, I'm right on which direction the stock's going to go. And all it is just understanding what makes stocks move, understanding the mentality of, you know, these big money guys and how they make money in the market. You know, they make money off of us. You got to know how to withstand the fake moves. That's their job. You know, that's what market makers do. That's what these guys that have these big accounts do. They know that if retailers, let's say if we're going to get in a 52-week high break, they know that we're sitting here waiting to get in on the break of the 52-week high. So most of the time they're going to be positioned ahead of time. They're going to catch it off the 20 EMA. They're going to catch it off of that, and they're going to buy it up. And once it breaks the 52-week high, you got all these people buying into it. These guys are selling. And then it comes down before it goes back up and makes any significant move over the 52-week high. That's where my swing strategy comes in. Yeah, comes down to price action. Understanding, what's more likely to happen. How is, how is big money more likely to trade this strategy or this setup? That's what it boils down to. All right, so we're gonna sit back and wait. I'll bring up my platform here in a minute, and we'll kind of get our chart set up. Oh my, Leo. What are you doing? Where are you? Come here. Come here, big man. What is wrong with you? We can't play in that room right now. You tear up your mama's Christmas present, she gonna be upset. All right, dogs, y'all ready to go out? I'm gonna let y'all out early. Shouldn't be too bad today. Come on. Go for it. All right, so let's get cracking here. Yeah, I need Leo to help me with my trading. He needs to come tell me what to do today. I need him to point out a stock or two. I don't need that one. have my, I don't know why it messes up. Doesn't give me my market clock. There we go. No, I don't post my broker statements. I show all of my trades live every day. So everything I do, you see happen live. I've never been a fan of people that just post their broker statements and stuff, because they're easily faked. You can't fake live trades. Live real-time trades. You can't fake them. So that's why I do what I do. And I actually did a video a while back showing how easy it is to fake a broker statement. And you would never know. Now, if you got high school dropouts that can create broker statements that can fool the federal government, it's relatively easy. I've got I've got a beginner series that I started, but in January, that's the very first series of classes that I'm going to do in a virtual classroom. So, yeah, I show my position and order window, just what you see right now. This is what I show every day, all day. In my other account, I will switch it over. You know, once I'm done in the small account, I'll switch it over and you see exactly what I'm doing every day. But the beginner classes that I do, Larry, are specifically for people who have no clue about the market. And I'm teaching you things that you only need to know as somebody that's looking to be a day trader. There's a lot of information that you really don't need, that doesn't really pertain to you and would never come into play with what you're going to do. So I filter through all of that and teach you exactly what you need to know, what's important to you, and kind of go from there. But it's all free. Yes, from 9:30 to 4. Now, when I go to lunch, if I go to lunch and I'm still having to manage a position, it's not live streaming during the lunchtime. But when I get back, I log back in. I can't be logged in 2 places at the same time. But other than that, it's here. It's just what you see right now. I'm just sharing. I'm sharing with you exactly what I do every day. And I'm sure if I didn't do it every day, there'd be a ton of people, saying otherwise. But yeah, Ralph, believe it or not, it is so much easier to do it this way versus trying to call out trades and type in stuff. When I was in the other community, that was so frustrating that when you're actually trading for real, you're trading live, it's really hard to focus on what you're doing and try to type stuff in. And it's so easy to wait 5 minutes after the stock has already made the move and say, hey, I'm in it. It doesn't help you. It doesn't do anybody any good. That's why I don't do it. Swing trading is a little different. Swing trading is a little bit slower paced. And that works. I can type in my entry on a swing trade and you still have time to see, the entry is usually it's still going to be for like 10 or 15 minutes. It'll be trading around the same place I got in. So swing trading is a little different. But day trading, you got to see it as it happens. Okay, let's see. Let's see, which one is the closest right now? Yes. Exactly. They watch everything I do. That's the whole purpose behind this community, so you can actually watch somebody do it. That was the trouble that I had when I first started. Oh yeah. I agree with you 100%. There are a lot of people that are scamming you. Let's see, this is 52-week low, and you can see how far away we are from this. Huge gap down. a FDX. We got MU. It's kind of worked its way back over the moving averages, VWAP. So we just have to wait and got to be patient. Allow things to set up and not really chase. $38.08 GIS. I'm typed in the wrong one. And we've got the pre-market high here. Pre-market high. It's about to blow through it. This is what we see all the time. These moves are happening just before the market opens. Yeah, FedEx is going. Everything is moving just before the open. All right. It is time. Let's see what we're going to get. See what we're going to get, man. What's MU doing? See, MU is pulling back a little bit. Okay, so what I'm looking for FDX to do is to go up here and test. And this is a prime candidate for the 2-minute deal. And it just opened itself up. So we got our 5-minute opening range low set. And you see how the SPY threw a head fake? It went in like we were going to open slow. We were going to open to the downside, and it bounced up. Leo, what are you doing? Leo. I don't know what this cat's getting into right now. Wow. I mean, there's no way I can chase this up. No way I can chase that. No way. Yeah, RSI is like over 82. It's over 80. So that's really extended. Leo, come out of that. Those dirty dishes. What is wrong with you? All right, so we're looking at these stocks right now. I don't like the way MU is trading. It's just looking really crazy here. That's his 52-week low. All right, so we're gonna jump on it when it cracks this 52-week low. There we go. And so I want to see if we get down to 31, kind of get some profit there. If we can get it down there. It's trading kind of crazy, so we got to be, got to be careful here. Yeah, it's having some trouble here. It's having a little bit of trouble today selling off. It's not on SSR, so I wouldn't expect it to have these issues, but the price action was a little funky before we got in. I'm looking for it to take out that pre-market support. It's bouncing. All right, so finger on the trigger here. This did not work out at all. Not really sure why. Not really sure why it didn't work. It never touched the pre-market support, so that's not why it didn't work. Never came close to touching it. What a freaking squeeze, man. Well, we are waiting, we're waiting, we're waiting, we're waiting, we're waiting. 30 more seconds on this candle. I don't know if it's going to take me out before. Yep. Shit, it took me out before the candle even closed. Well, we're done on that one. What a garbage trader. I don't know. So let's watch this one and see what we got here. Yeah, MU was one of those ones that just completely fooled us. It didn't look like it was going to bounce at all. And then it turned around and got squeezed. No, that's why you got to bail out on it. You can't sit there and hold it hoping that it was going to come back. But that's the nature of our industry. that is the nature of our industry. This stuff can kind of just what we were talking about earlier today, this morning. Just kind of what we were talking about. They got us looking and thinking in one direction, and somebody came in and bought this thing up. Now I know the market bounced. I know the market bounced, but this was pretty strong. So somebody came in and said, oh no, we're not going short. And they slapped us. They slapped me silly. Slapped me silly. Yeah, it doesn't look like anything's setting up this morning. Doesn't look like anything is really setting up. So we got to be patient. Got to be patient and let it work. Boop, boop, boom. Boop, 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 boop. Come on, man. I need some Christmas money. I gotta buy the G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cancel Christmas. I'm gonna have to do the Christmas with the cranks this year. We're gonna skip Christmas and go on a cruise. Kids are gonna wake up. We're just gonna have a note on the refrigerator saying we'll be back in 5 days. All right, we're watching FDX here. Let's see if FDX is gonna set us up. Oh, it nailed me. Ah. It nailed me that time. It nailed me. The spread monster whipped my tail. I was running my mouth and clicked the button a little bit too late. GIS, I'm not really, I don't think it was so much a fake out. It just people just bought it up. They bought it up at the open and then it just started selling. So I don't know. They could have had to fix in on it. Definitely could have had to fix in on it. I know MU was classic. Classic bear trap for me. Classic bear trap. And it squeezed. So it squeezed us. Squeezed the life out of me. But you can see that first this opening candle, it just got completely bought up. I mean, it was strong. Then either people were taking profit, but here's the bounce coming in here. But you can't, you see, that's the VWAP. That purple line right there, that's the VWAP. So you can see where that VWAP is sitting. The market today has just not been nice. Has not been nice at all. Has not been nice. You know, Mama said there'll be days like this. And Mama said, you'll lose all your damn money, son. You'll lose all your damn money, son. Reminds me of that. You'll shoot your eye out, kid. Yep, I believe that's the Christmas movie I'm watching today. You'll shoot your eye out, kid. You'll lose all your damn money, kid. And the market is making us, I mean, it's making a strong move today. Jeez. Not a day for bears, that's for sure. I'm going to go in my cave. Lucas, I don't like to trade with big stops. In a small account, I can't really have huge stops. But you know, we got to have stops to protect our account. You know, a point is really not huge. You know, having a point stop is not really huge. We got some buying pressure coming in on FDX. We got serious buying pressure coming in on FDX. I'm a bear and the market is just too strong to make money right now. No, we couldn't have done anything different on the MU trade. It was just a classic. It was just a classic fake out. Because, I mean, you look at, now we did have some like pre-market support here, but that didn't concern me. We didn't even come close to testing that. Had we come down here and we started testing this pretty, you know, we had a significant test here, then I would have dumped it. You know, whatever $10, $15 been a scratch trade, you know, that's fine. I would have dumped it. But what I was looking for was the previous pre-market support. That's the one that I was looking for. Yeah, that's a good technical stop. See, we got some movement here. See if it's gonna do anything. Oh hell, I'm looking at the wrong chart. Hold on. It's got to keep working. It's got to keep working. This is testing the boundaries of my patience, to be honest with you. Yeah, FDX is finally on SSR, which sucks. I'm gonna bail on this thing. If I get a nice dip, I'm bailing on it. It's on SSR. It's not trading. The price action sucks. The volume's going on it. Everything's going south on this trade. DHI. So all I need is a dip like around through 167.50 or something. I mean 166.50 or something like that. And I'm done. Just a quick flush. I do not like trading these stocks now when they hit SSR. Makes it really difficult. I already got botched on my entry, which really hurts. Yeah, I would have more faith in the trade if it wasn't on SSR. You know, the price action isn't good like XPO was. XPO was a really good trader. Price action was good. It had nice flow to it. This has some degree of manipulation in it. You know, you could tell as soon as you get a dip, it gets bought up. It gets aggressively bought up. Not passively bought up, but aggressively bought up. And I got a feeling that this is going to pop. So I need to put my stop in. I got a feeling this is going to pop. Just give me a flush. 166 through 166.50. Just give me a quick flush here. Help me cover my backside. Come on, baby. There we go. Come on. Come to Papa. I need the ask side to get through 166.50. Not the bid. I need the ask to come down. There we go.
ABM.
So I was able to kill a little bit of profit on this. This is a stock on SSR. Yeah, I probably should have taken it all off on that dip. That was probably would have been the smartest thing to do. But you know, obviously I'm not smart. So I left a little piece on just in case we got a flush. We didn't, so I'm out. So what happens when a stock hits SSR? If the price action wasn't shitty already, it gets even worse. And that's pretty much what we got. Yeah, price action has been really crappy today, so I just don't see much happening.
WGO.
And I'm gonna tell you exactly what prevented me from taking it all off down here. That loss on MU was stuck in my head. I would have killed a whole position on this dip. Would have killed it. But that freaking loss on MU, it's got me thinking I need to make up money. So I'll probably have to wait until, after lunch. Well, the reason why I didn't take MU long is the reason why I explained I took it short. It gave me the short look first. Everything about it was telling me short. That's why I didn't take it long. Now, yeah, somebody mentioned, MU was good for the 15-minute ORB. And yeah, had we waited 15 minutes, I could have made some money on it. Yeah. We could have made some money on it, but, I wasn't trading the 15-minute. I was trading the 5, and the 5 told me short. Because here is an opening 5-minute candle. We ran up and tested everything and sold and closed back below all of this, what should be resistance right now. Okay, set the 5-minute opening range low. Once we cracked it, I jumped in. That's my strategy. 5-minute candle. If it goes short, I get in. Now, probably should have waited a few ticks, yeah. But that's the strategy. Then we could have taken it, to the long side. But I had had I not got in here and it put in this candle, yeah, I probably would have taken it long. But it showed me short first. It was a pretty good head fake. And I fell for it. Got my ankles broke. But that's fine. That's part of it. That is part of trading. You're not going to be on the right side of trades all the time. The market will fake you out. One of the lessons is just don't let this stuff eat away at you too much. That loss was on my mind, and it caused me to not take as much profit as I should have on this bad trade. FDX just did not follow through. It did exactly what happens when a stock jumps on SSR. You look for that quick dip. That's what I got, but I only took half of it. And it bit me.
WGO. ABM.
So we'll see. I don't foresee, it's 10:15. I don't see much else really doing much. You want my honest opinion? Stay the hell away from TVIX. Today is not the day, and the time is not now. That's my opinion. Take it how you can take it with a grain of salt. I don't see the market pulling back at this point. I mean, not yet anyway.
WGO.
If it does, it may stop the upward move. It may stop that push up, but if it does, it may just trade in a channel. Yeah, I think the market is going to be trash. And yep, you're right. It'll probably be trash until the Fed announcement. Because what we needed to do was take profit now. Get the morning volatility. And go. What you got? ABM? Let's take a look at that. Wow. Kind of due for a reversal, isn't it? Let's take a look at something here. ABM. Oh yeah, because here we're running into 31.37. We're running into the 200 on the daily.
ABM.
I don't know how much farther this is going to push. The 200 and the 100 is sitting right here.
IBM.
Yeah, FDX, I still would have got stopped out if I would have nailed an entry, because it did go back. It did go back above the entry that I wanted.
WGO.
So either way, I would have got nailed. I'd have made a little bit more money, but I would have got nailed on it. But MU would have been a better trade had it not faked this, gave me that head fake short, and I didn't get in short. I would have jumped long. It was a nice setup both ways. So that was definitely the best trader. I just, I fell for that head fake. I fell for that crossover.
IBM.
I fell for that crossover.
WGO.
Yeah, that Allen Iverson crossover. Yeah, see, even Michael Jordan, fell for that. So I don't feel too bad. It happens. I'm not going to force anything. I'm not going to try to enact my revenge. I'm going to wait and let the market give me something. If it doesn't give me something, then I'll go home. I'll take the loss. Let's see. I've had
ABM.
how many red days have I had in this account this month? I think I've had some pretty good red days this month. Oh, guys, I will have that calendar up. I was trying to wait. I will be doing the session Sunday morning. That was a question as to whether I was going to be here Sunday morning to do the session. Now, I know Monday and Tuesday we won't be trading. We're on Christmas holiday. But, we still need to close out the week. We still need to look at, what potentially could happen. So we will definitely have a session Sunday morning. And we are going to have the class this afternoon as well.
IBM.
Uh, 4:30. We start at 4:30.
WGO.
Now it looks like ABM may be pulling back here. It's too early to tell, but it's trying. It can't seem to get that push off. But you see the 9 is still coming hard. It's still closing up really hard. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, today is the how to make a living day trading kickoff. Just kind of
WGO.
kind of prefacing what we're going to be looking at moving forward.
OST.
Wow, this ABM is just strong. I mean, it ate up the daily 100 and the daily 200. I mean, it ate it for lunch.
WGO. OSTK.
Not a whole lot happening. Not a whole lot happening this morning.
ABM.
Yeah, this market's not going to do much until after the Fed does its thing. I don't think there's anything else much going to happen until that time. The market may try.
WGO.
The market may try. May trade sideways here. It's trying to put in a bullish setup here. At 2 o'clock, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, it's at 2 o'clock. Exactly. Yeah, it ought to be a lot of fun after 2 o'clock. We'll see. Yep, the market is trending up. What's up, Leo? What's up, Leo? I need your help, buddy. You got to put me on the right stocks, man. Yeah, he wants profit share. Like he can go spend the money somewhere.
WGO.
So I told you I would not be messing with this until the market puts in a backside move. I can't.
WGO.
His pea pod. Ah, that's funny. Yeah, I'm thinking if we get a pull down, what I'm looking for is it to pull back close to the 52-week low. I want to see it pull back there and give a good test so I could see for myself what kind of line of defense this thing is going to have. Now, I'm just curious about how strong that line of defense is going to be. You know, 260 seemed to be pretty strong, but that got ate up this week. I want to see a good test of that 52-week low.
WGO.
That give me some idea of if we're going to have a big sell-off anytime soon, or are we going to take a nice bounce? But that's my thing. I mean, it could have tested it yesterday. Yesterday could have been the test. Let's see. Let me get my SPY chart back up. Yeah, see, yesterday, this could have been the test here, and that could be it. But this is what I wanted to see test. If we can get a pullback there to test this, I'd be okay. I mean, it could just continue on. You know, we may get a little pullback, and this thing rockets back up toward 260 after the announcement. You just don't know right now. But that's why today is not a day I'd be messing with TVIX or trying to trade any volatility.
HBI.
You know, maybe later on after 2 o'clock, if, you know, it puts in a backside move and we got a nice trend that's appearing, yeah, I might take the risk. But right now, no. And look at what MU did. Oh, you're welcome. And that's the key, man. It wasn't until I was able to, you know, to get the discipline and patience, I wasn't able to make any money. You know, I'd be all over the place. Like, I'd have took that hit this morning and I'd have been pissed off trying to trade my way out of it. And by the end of the day, I'd be down like $700. And, you know, you could have 2 or 3 good days of $150 to $250, and that one $700 day would put me right back to square one.
HBI.
And it's just a process that you got to get out of. I had to get out of that, that process, that cycle. And once I got out of it and was able to develop the patience and discipline, and a lot of it came with learning how to read price action too. Being able to read and understand what's happening with the stocks. I do longs. Like I said, if MU hadn't have triggered me short, I would have taken this long. And really I could have flipped this, but I've got a rule about doing that. I had to make sure that I had my head screwed on straight before I jumped in another trade. But I definitely would have taken this long. So I will go both ways. But this is what true trading is. It's not nailing and making these big trades every day. It's some days the market is not there for your strategy and it's grinding it out. And you're just grinding it out. But you got to remain in control or else you can give it all back very quickly. Yeah, FCX is finally making that move. Or FDX. Yeah, it was just early. It was just a little bit early. But the only good feeling about this is that eventually if your thesis works out, that hey, I'm reading this the right way. You can't predict people coming in and buying this up, or you don't know what's behind that. But I didn't really have any indication that was going to happen. I was just looking. But I knew once SSR hit, you're going to have some people covering their positions. and you usually get that quick dip before it gets bought back up. But here, this thing is settled in. You know, here was a stop loss seeker right here, and now it's just working its way out. But you know, it did do what we wanted it to do. Just got shook out. It just started with a bad entry. You know, every now and then, the entry strategy I have is it gives me a bad entry. Not often, but every now and then. And then if it's a good stock, it's no big deal. But when you get a stock to trade it like this, it just compounds the issue. And we're not able to, you know, make anything off of it. Yeah, Dan, that's what really got me interested in it as well. That the SPY was running up and this FDX was really weak. That's kind of what got me interested in it, but just didn't work for me. Yeah, we could be getting a pullback on the SPY here. If it loses the 9 right here. And what I want to see, for me to be a player in this, I'd like to see it pull back, bounce, make a higher low. I mean a lower high. And then come back and make a lower low. I want it to start, you know, putting a backside trend move down. Well, we've made the run up. Now we're putting in the backside and we're pulling back. You know, then I would feel more comfortable getting in. Yeah, MU was working on an uptrend, but it lost it around 8:30 or 8 o'clock. Yeah, it put that in after it broke trend. But either way, I read it wrong. And at this point, all I can say is I read it wrong. So I got my ankles broke on that crossover. So I got to shake it off and get back on defense. Boy, come here. Stay out of the sink. It's dirty. You understand? Can you go to sleep? Any other day you'd be asleep right now. And I know you stayed up all night. Because I saw the Christmas tree. I'm not really looking at any moving averages or anything too much on the spot other than this 9 right here. I wanted to see if it's gonna, lose the 9 and, pull back, and then when it bounces, give us a lower high. I'm just trying to see if it's going to put in a trend. But I'm not going to do much. I'm not going to do anything with it until after 2 o'clock. If I do anything, it's going to be my patented, late day trades. I know I'm down, 150, 160 bucks, somewhere in there, if my math is correct. And I know that could be quickly dissolved, with a good trade on TVIX if it sets up right. Or a good earnings trade after market can eat that up, and I can have a solid green day. Just because the morning didn't work out doesn't mean the afternoon won't. That's kind of what I'm looking at here. Well, you know me, I'm not a scalper, so any scalp question is going to be a bad deal for me. What, you talking about for the Fed? Is that the meeting you're talking about? No, it's a pre-planned meeting. They're going to announce, more than likely they're going to announce that they're raising the interest rates by like 0.25%. SSR is short sale restriction. If a stock drops more than 5% in a trading session, it will be on short sale restriction for 2 days, unless the next day it drops another 5%. So it'll extend it out another day. Yeah, you have the open. And then after the open, you don't really have much on meeting days. Unless there's another catalyst or something acting on it, you don't really have much going on. But this is the hard part of day trading. This is the part that most people don't tell you about and most people don't show you. These are the times where day traders are made or broken. But it's not popular and it's not marketable. So they don't show you. Yep, guys. So, we had a relatively slow day, and I didn't really connect the dots that Fed announcement was today. So I didn't really connect those dots. If I did, I would have said we'd do it tomorrow. But we'll do this again tomorrow do a live stream for a little bit on tomorrow on YouTube. So, the Fed day is probably a bad day, but I'm glad we got to see today because, you got to see how I handle being made look like a damn fool, which is what MU did. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. How you react to that and how you're able to manage that is going to determine how successful you're going to be moving forward. So we'll be back tomorrow. See if we can have another Thursday like we had last week. That would be great. But just stay tuned for the recap here on YouTube later on this evening. You can stay tuned for that. And I'll let you'll be able to see how the rest of my day turned out. So again, we're going to be looking for, an afternoon move in the market after 2 o'clock. If we get it, we can take advantage of it. If not, we'll accept the day as traded and we'll get back at it tomorrow. So thank you guys for hanging out with me here today on YouTube. Just come back tomorrow. We'll be back at it. Start at 8:30 again, and we'll see what we can do. See if we can make a better show of things.